Merry Christmas, YouTube. Merry Christmas, TYT. Merry Christmas, WWE fans. It's me, Josh Gibbs, Chief Osceola, here with you once again for another WWE, a Christmas-themed WWE video. I've got my Crying MJ Christmas sweater on, so this is hopefully will get you through the long holiday if you don't like spending time with your family. But if you do, you can watch it later. What we're getting excited for is the end of the year means that WrestleMania is almost here. WrestleMania is coming up in April 2nd, I believe, April 2nd in Orlando, Florida. I will be there. Hopefully I'll see you there. And one of the last Big Four pay-per-views is coming up pretty soon, the Royal Rumble. That's going to be at the end of January. So the WrestleMania picture is going to start coming into focus. As you know, the winner of the Royal Rumble gets an automatic shot at the title, an automatic title shot if you win the Rumble. Who's going to win the Rumble? Who are going to be the participants? We don't know. They haven't announced all of the people yet. What we do know is that Goldberg and Brock Lesnar are both going to be in the Rumble. All the rest of the wrestlers and the competitors are going to be announced later. But what we're going to do in this video is go over the matches that have been confirmed for WrestleMania 33, and I'm going to speculate on a couple matches I think are going to happen. So, first of all, I think WrestleMania 33 is going to do better than WrestleMania 32 did. WrestleMania 32 was in Arlington, Texas. It generated about $170 million for the Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth area. Now, Orlando, I think, is a bigger tourist attraction, and they have the potential to go 200 million plus. I think people are a little more apt to spend more time in an area like Orlando. They can hit up Disney World, they can hit up Universal. There's a lot more things to do than there is in Arlington. Trust me, I lived in Arlington. There's just not a lot to do there compared to Orlando. So I think there's a potential for it to do really well come next year. So, that being said, they need to produce big matches. Now, the one match, the only match really that has been confirmed so far is The Big Show versus Shaquille O'Neal. Now, Big Show and Shaq have had this weird feud that's gone back since like 2006. Like they've been doing this thing back and forth. They're both 7 feet tall. They're both really big dudes, and so it's kind of natural that they would have some kind of beef with each other. They're also friends in real life. Shaq's a big wrestling fan, and really Big Show is one of the only guys who can stand up to him. And so their match was actually confirmed at the ESPYs just a couple months ago, where they challenged each other to a match, and it was accepted, and it became the first official match that's going to take place at WrestleMania. If you've watched a WrestleMania in the past, you know that they always do this. They always have some kind of weird celebrity matchup kind of thing. Floyd Mayweather's been at one before, so it's very strange. Pete Rose was always really famous for getting destroyed by Kane at WrestleManias. So what's going to happen? I don't know. It's going to be gimmicky and I guess kind of fun. It's going to be a time filler. So it's one of those bathroom breaks if you're not interested in seeing probably Shaq beat the Big Show. Unfortunately, Big Show's at a stage in his career where he can job to somebody like Shaq and it doesn't really affect him very much. So he's a team player for the company, that's for sure. Now, no other official matches have been set yet. Not at all. However, we do know that The Rock has said he's going to be there. We don't know is he going to actually be competing in a match, or is he just going to be in an in-ring segment? Now, it's unlikely that he's actually going to wrestle in a match. I know Vince has wanted to put Lesnar versus Rock, even though they've had matches in the past. Vince wants to do a rehash of that. But ultimately, I mean, The Rock's going to do whatever The Rock wants to do. He's a big movie star now. He's the biggest movie star in the world. He doesn't have to compete if he thinks it might endanger a movie career. It may even be in his contract. Honestly, I don't know. But if The Rock decides he wants a match, he'll get one. A lot also depends on what Lesnar is going to do with Goldberg. And that brings us to one of our other matches that's a potential. There was a lot of people were wondering, okay, depending on how the match at Survivor Series went, that will determine the future of this feud. And to a lot of people's surprise, including mine, Goldberg squashed Lesnar at Survivor Series. The match lasted, what, a minute and a half? And then it was over. Goldberg was the victor. So that means now Goldberg has 2 victories over Brock Lesnar. So it would make sense to me that they would have a third match at WrestleMania, an actual match this time, not a squash, something to give Lesnar the win, unless they decide that they're just going to put Goldberg over Lesnar forever. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think that they're going to be in a match together. They're definitely going to meet each other at the Royal Rumble, so that might be how they get around that kind of thing, where actually Lesnar has a match with Rock, but then he competes against Goldberg at in the Royal Rumble itself. So maybe that they get best of both worlds. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But we definitely at least know that Rock is going to be there. He'll probably do an in-ring segment just like he did at last year's WrestleMania. He's always good for that. He can whip up the crowd, and he can spend a good 10, 20 minutes on the mic, and that lasts. I mean, WrestleMania is a 5-6 hour show. It can push to 7 if you include pre-shows and all this other stuff. So they're going to need a lot of superstars and a lot of fanfare. Next match I think we're going to see is Triple H and Seth Rollins. This is we haven't really seen much happen for this feud getting ready for it, but I think we're going to start to see that maybe as soon as Royal Rumble in January. As you know, Triple H essentially turned on Seth Rollins and decided that Kevin Owens was going to be his new golden boy and gave him the Universal Championship. And so Seth Rollins has made it pretty clear that he wants revenge on Triple H. We haven't seen a lot of Triple H on television as of late, but I think as the WrestleMania picture starts to come into focus, Triple H will come back more. They'll start to really build that feud up, and it's something that can be really entertaining. Seth Rollins is a great worker. Triple H is still a great worker, still in fantastic shape, and I think if they have a lot of motivation to go against each other. You've got the former mentor and his former chosen one going at each other, with the stakes being just nothing but revenge. There's going to be no titles on the line, more than likely, so it's just a good old-fashioned brawl, and maybe they'll put in some more stipulations to it or something like that. But I think we'll definitely see them resolve their conflict at WrestleMania 33. The next one is the kind of the wild card. It's The Undertaker. The question every year, who is The Undertaker going to face at WrestleMania? The Undertaker is in this great position where he faces whoever he wants. He's the most senior, tenured guy in the company. If he wants a match against James Ellsworth, he'll get it because he's The Undertaker. He gets whatever he wants. So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who he chooses. Does he stick with somebody on SmackDown, or does he just kind of go off and challenge somebody on Raw? We don't know. I think more than likely what they're going to do, they're going to go Undertaker versus John Cena. That was the match that was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 32, but Cena got injured. So that had to be scrapped at the last minute, and then we got the terrible Undertaker-Shane McMahon match, which was just awful. So I think this year, now that Cena's healthy, he's coming back next week on the 27th of December, so I think they're going to start setting that up, and he's going to be the guy he's going to come back to SmackDown, and Undertaker's going to challenge him, and I don't know if we'll see it right away. That would be a hell of a way for him to reintroduce himself back onto SmackDown. So I think Cena as being another really senior guy in the company, and maybe even being on his way out too. I think 2017 we're going to see even less of Cena than we saw in 2016, albeit that was more for injuries than anything else. But I think Cena's going to start pulling away even more. And who knows, maybe Undertaker will pass the torch off to him, essentially saying, hey, I want my last match to be with the face of the company. Whether you like him or not, that's who Cena is. He is still the highest paid. He's the guy. He runs the WWE in that respect. So I could see Undertaker saying, you know what, I'm done. I'm ready to go, and I want to have my last match with the face that runs the place, and that's John Cena. So that makes the most sense to me. I think the backup plan could be Randy Orton. Bray Wyatt has had this weird feud with The Undertaker that he had a while back, and then he lost, and so everybody thought Bray Wyatt was going to be the new Undertaker, and of course that didn't happen. But now that Randy Orton is a member of the Wyatt family, he could be penciled in as the backup in case something happens to Cena, or if the match if it doesn't play out the way that the writers want it to play out. That's the only other opponent I could see realistically going up against Undertaker at this point would be Randy Orton. The last match, let's chalk this into the really unlikely category. In fact, it's so unlikely I hope it doesn't happen at all. And that's Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles. This has been thrown around by AJ Styles himself, to be fair. He's the one who threw it out there, and the internet went crazy when he suggested that he and Shawn Michaels have a match. I think it's a terrible idea for a lot of reasons. Shawn Michaels is retired. He's legit retired. He's been legit retired for a long, long time. And to his credit, he's shown no interest in coming back. He hasn't teased anybody. AJ Styles was kind of a one-sided thing. So really, we have nobody to blame but him. I don't think it would be the match everyone thinks it was going to be. I'm not a big fan of guys coming out of retirement for this one more match kind of thing, especially when they had the history of physical ailments that Shawn Michaels does. You can't put on the match that you want to put on. I hated when they did it with Sting too. I'm not a fan of that. And we saw what happened. Sting got injured so bad that he was forced into retirement for good. And now we haven't seen him since. So I don't want to see Shawn Michaels back with AJ Styles. I want that spot to be taken up by a current guy on the roster. You know, build up a younger person. Not James Ellsworth, okay? Just leave James Ellsworth out of the show. He shouldn't even be at WrestleMania. Hopefully the whole thing with him is done by this point. If you don't know who James Ellsworth is, consider yourself lucky. Stay far away from him. So I'd like to see AJ Styles versus literally anyone else other than Ellsworth or Shawn Michaels. You know, don't waste that spot. This is WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year. This is your chance to really give someone an opportunity who maybe deserves it. Somebody who's really, really busted their butt the whole year, and they deserve to be given a shot. Because this is the grandest stage of them all. It's the company's biggest performance. And a really solid showing at WrestleMania can launch your career into the stratosphere. So give that opportunity to someone who's deserving of it. I don't know who that is at this stage in the game, but I don't think it should be somebody like Shawn Michaels. But I guess, again, the Royal Rumble is where we're going to see a lot of that come into play, because that person gets an automatic title bid. So what names are going to be thrown in there? I guess we'll see. I mean, is AJ Styles still even going to be the champ come WrestleMania time? We don't know. A lot can happen between now and then. There's a couple other pay-per-views. There's Elimination Chamber. There's Fastlane. But Royal Rumble is officially where we're going to start seeing more matches come in. So that's what we got. Those are the ones that go from the spectrum of absolutely confirmed to let's hope not. But what do you think? What matches do you want to see at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando? Are you planning to attend? Tickets are on sale now. You can get them Ticketmaster. You can get them through third-party sellers. They range from $200 to about $3,000. So pick your poison on where you want to go. But if you've never been to a WrestleMania, it's a lot of fun. It really is. I went to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, and it's just like the Super Bowl, except there's events that go on for a week prior in the town, and they do all these really special meet and greets. They go to hotels and all these other functions. They go to schools in the area. It's a really, really fun event. It's family friendly, and it's a blast. And being in a town like Orlando that lends itself to tourism, you can't beat that either. So highly suggest you go if you're able to make it, and hopefully I'll see you there. So leave your comment below. As you know, I respond to any and all comments. Have a happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Everybody be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.